Hello and welcome to this edition of S101's Visual Radio. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Shalini Ratnavira. First, let's take a look at your headlines.
Newsfirst headline.
Reducing sovereign stresses will support Sri Lankan banks' credit profiles, says Fitch Ratings. Inflation drops in October. Kenya's president cancels major deals with Adani Group. F1 and ESPN open talks over next US media rights deal. Moving on to your top story. Fitch Ratings has stated that the easing of sovereign stresses in Sri Lanka will help improve the credit profiles of the country's banks. Fitch said, quote, Sri Lankan banks' operating environment assessment and overall credit profiles will be supported by any improvement in the sovereign's credit profile following a completed debt restructuring. The ratings agency noted that improving macroeconomic conditions and fiscal reforms are expected to stabilize the banking sector in the near future. According to Fitch, the Sri Lankan banking sector has faced significant pressures due to the country's economic challenges in recent years. However, with the reduction of sovereign risks, including lower external debt pressures, the outlook for the banks has begun to stabilize. Fitch also highlighted that the improvements in fiscal policy, coupled with a more stable currency and inflationary pressures under control, will provide a favorable environment for the banks to strengthen their credit profiles. While acknowledging the progress, Fitch emphasized that ongoing structural reforms and continued fiscal discipline will be key to sustaining the positive momentum in the country's banking sector. In more local news, the overall inflation rate as measured by the National Consumer Price Index decreased to -0.7% in October, down from -0.2% in September, according to the latest data from the Department of Census and Statistics. This marks a continued decline in the rate of inflation, with the NCPI for all items standing at 203.6 for October, a decrease of 0.5 index points compared to September. Food inflation also saw a significant drop, falling to -0.16% in October from 0.5% in September. This reduction was driven by lower prices in food items, which declined by 0.16% month-on-month. Non-food items also contributed to the overall decrease with a 0.35% drop in their prices.
International news.
In international news, Kenya's President William Ruto has cancelled two major deals involving Indian billionaire Gautam Adani after the tycoon was indicted for fraud by US prosecutors. In his State of the Nation address on Thursday, Ruto said the deals had been cancelled based on new information provided by our investigative agencies and partner nations. The day before, Mr. Adani, India's second richest man, was charged with fraud by US prosecutors for allegedly orchestrating a $250 million bribery scheme and concealing it to raise money in the US. Representatives from Adani Group have denied the allegations from US prosecutors and called them baseless.
Sports news.
In your sports update, Formula One has opened negotiations with broadcaster ESPN over its next US media rights deal with 1 year left on the existing contract. Formula One and ESPN are locked in talks during an exclusivity period that expires before the end of the year, as a FT report said, citing two people with direct knowledge of the matter. Well, that's a wrap of this edition of S101's Visual Radio. Thank you for watching.